Good evening. Welcome to a special edition of the Queen's Grapevine. This is your host, Wallingford Lee. Tonight, the Queen's Grapevine happened to be on the road. We happen to be in Yonkers, New York, which is one of the largest cities in Westchester County. Yonkers have such a beautiful and rich history that we had such a temptation to come to Yonkers to find out just exactly what's going on. And what better place to come than the Chamber of Commerce. We don't have words to thank the President of the Chamber of Commerce who have taken the time to give us the next 20-25 minutes to talk about the great things that are taking place in Yonkers in terms of jobs, housing, and more importantly, such a great renaissance that has taken place in Yonkers. It gives us a great deal of pleasure and satisfaction to have on our show today as a special guest, and the spotlight is going to be at the Chamber of Commerce and, of course, the President of the Chamber of Commerce, Mr. Kevin Cacase. Welcome to our program.
Thank you. Good to be here, Wallingford.
Well, it's good to have you because we heard so many wonderful, great things that are taking place in Yonkers. Most of New York know about Rich Hill and stuff like that. But can you start out a little bit by telling us what's the main objective of the Chamber of Commerce?
Well, the Chamber has been around since 1893. It was originally called the Yonkers Board of Trade. In the early 20th century, we became a full-fledged Chamber of Commerce. We're here really to represent both the community and the businesses within the community. We advocate for business interests. We provide a place for business folks to get together and discuss common issues. And we are the voice. We're probably the largest voice for business within the city of Yonkers.
Very interesting. It gives you a flavor for those of you who might not be familiar with the rich history of Yonkers, just exactly just the position of the Chamber of Commerce, which again is growth, prosperity of business, and of course making that market of interest and making it plausible for business who wants to enter our area. And how long has you been the president of the Chamber?
Sometimes don't like to admit it, but I've been the president since 1998, so about 16 years.
Very good, very good. Well, our research tells us that you have done an outstanding job and that you have worked very closely with each one of the mayors, and that has been the mayor of the city of Yonkers, and that you have done an outstanding job. What has been the biggest challenge for you as president of the Chamber of Commerce?
Well, over the years that I've been employed by the Chamber, we've grown substantially, and keeping that growth year to year and keeping our funding coming in, because we've had a changing environment over the last 18 years. We've gotten funding over the years from the city, the county, the state, the federal government, different grant applications. There's been a lot of different areas that we've relied on and we've established an expertise in. But keeping that funding flowing, keeping our folks employed, and continuing the work of the Chamber is our greatest challenge.
I'm sure also getting funding for the Chamber has not been one of the easiest things in the world, because as business move, business come, business go. So that has to be like a special challenge going forward always.
Well, we are not reliant on just the membership for our funding. We operate different contracts, and over the years we've performed different services for different grants. We became very heavily involved in workforce development many years ago. As the Yonkers community in the late 90s and early 2000s, the business community was growing. There was a great demand for labor. So we stepped in at that time, and we became, I wouldn't call it a job referral agency, but we involved ourselves with different community organizations that were doing training within the city of Yonkers, and we were able to facilitate and join with those different organizations, and we were able to ensure that Yonkers residents enjoyed the new employment that had come to the city of Yonkers.
What would you say has been one of the biggest achievements of the Chamber of Commerce in the last 5 years?
In the last 5 years? In the last 5 years, we've been assisting the county with the social service population. We perform certain tasks for them. We've partnered with them, and we've been successful at getting a number. I think it's probably in the last 5 years, it's probably well over 500 people who were previously on public assistance. We've been able to help them get employment, and in many, many cases, have their cases closed. So these folks were able to get a leg up and start moving forward with their lives. I would have to say that's an accomplishment.
That's a big achievement. Anytime you can get people back into the workforce, it's something monumental and a tremendous step. And obviously, that's an excellent move. What is the economic situation of Yonkers today?
We're mostly a retail-based economy, and it's strong. And it's strong because we have an excellent array of retailers that have open businesses in Yonkers, and we enjoy a very high density of people living in and around Yonkers. We're obviously right next to the Bronx. Lower Westchester is a densely populated area, and there's a good mix of folks that have enough to keep those retailers going. So we enjoy a very good location. Empire City at Yonkers is performing extremely well. Wow. The casinos. I mean, the city of Yonkers enjoys, over and above everything else that they get from the casino, the jobs, the taxes, the property taxes. We get $20 million a year from Empire, or from the New York State Lottery Commission, but through Empire Casino, specifically designed for the Yonkers Public Schools, which is it's
a big plus.
It's a big plus. We have some old traditional businesses in Yonkers. We've still got refined sugars. There's been for as long as Yonkers has been around, as long as I've been around, there's been a sugar house in Yonkers, and they're still there. We have excellent health care facilities. We have, of course, Verizon and Cablevision, and those are big companies in the media business, and everything else you typically would expect: professional services, different kinds, a wide array of services, and then small businesses, specifically a lot of them located in smaller business districts.
That's good to know. We know for a fact that once Empire went through like a changes, and they kind of expanded it and made the casino a main player. And of course, you have the racetrack. We know that was one of the main production company in terms of jobs to the Yonkers area, and it has helped the economy in more ways than one.
No question. It's the largest private employer in the city, and it's been great. I mean, the revenue side has been great for the city. The job availability for Yonkers residents has been great. They're a great partner, and we sincerely hope that they are able to continue their expansion as time goes forward.
Well, all indications seems to be that way. They have a great attraction, very well located, right close to the Bronx and stuff like that. So that can only help them, and people in Westchester also will come into this area. We know for a fact that Yonkers is probably the largest city in Westchester. How many people are actually, is it more than 100,000?
Well, we're a city of approximately 200,000. We're the third or fourth largest city in the state, depending on who's counting. But we are a city that's growing, which is fairly unique. New York City is growing and Yonkers is growing. The upstate cities have not been growing in recent years. It's a substantial place. But at the same time, Yonkers is kind of like a series of 22 or 23 small towns. The neighborhoods are...
Small pockets.
Yeah, the small pockets. Each neighborhood is unique to itself, and shopping areas are unique to neighborhoods. So it's a large city, but at the same time, there's a small town feel to it.
When we continue talking to the President of the Chamber of Commerce, you're going to continue to hear all the beautiful things that are taking place right here in Yonkers. And more importantly, the new mayor that's taken over and how has he worked with the Chamber of Commerce. We'll be right back in the Queen's Grapevine as we continue moving forward, talking about all the beautiful things that are taking place right here in Yonkers, New York.
A vision of a great city. Yonkers, New York is the largest city in Westchester County. and the fourth largest city in New York State, home to 200,000 residents. Yonkers is distinguished by its distinctive architecture, its unique geographic location, its vibrant diversity, and its cultural heritage, which combine to create a city with a celebrated past and a dynamic future. But the best is yet to come. On the horizon lies one of the greatest urban redevelopment programs in New York State's history. It will begin an economic, cultural, and recreational renaissance, generate new tax revenues, and bring public improvements that will benefit not only Yonkers, but all of Westchester County. The multi-phase plan will be implemented over 10 years and will include billions of dollars in additional investment. Phase 1 will include River Park Center, which will transform 2 downtown blocks into over 2 million square feet of new development that will offer national retail stores, movie theaters, a baseball park, and new residences. Also part of Phase 1 is Palisades Point, a vacant riverfront redevelopment parcel which will rise with iconic new residential buildings perpendicular to the river. This site will preserve views, provide publicly accessible open space, and offer a beautiful waterfront esplanade. And the reopening and landscaping of the Sawmill River will create a unifying thread that runs through the city's center. The development team that will bring this vision to life is the partnership of SFC. Mark Burson, chairman of the Fidelco Group, is a national developer, dedicated philanthropist, lawyer, and entrepreneur. His interest in urban renewal was ignited by the development of the New Jersey Performing Arts Center in his native Newark, a project similar to the Yonkers redevelopment in the way it changed the image of downtown Newark.
Yonkers is guaranteed to succeed. I don't come by that statement lightly. I truly believe it. It's a city that everyone agrees needs change. It needs to be attacked in a positive way to reap the benefits of a good future. The success of what we're doing here is for the community, it's for the people. Whether you're older or you're younger, whether you're married or you're single, whether you're raising your family, this is going to be the community that you want to live in. This is going to be the place that you want to spend your time. Our promise to the future of Yonkers is to build this project, build it so that we'll be proud, they'll be proud, and we'll all enjoy it together.
The name Capelli has been synonymous with downtown revitalization projects throughout Westchester, including New Rock City and Trump Plaza in New Rochelle, and City Center, Trump Tower, and the new Ritz-Carlton in White Plains. As someone who grew up in Yonkers, Louis Capelli takes particular pride in playing a major role in this city's future.
I think this project, more than anything, is going to be a catalyst for a fantastic redevelopment opportunity in Yonkers. The project is going to be successful. It's going to create jobs. It's going to create a tax base. It's certainly going to help the local community. But more than that, I think it's going to be the start of a major revitalization and construction opportunity. It's going to be a benefit to the kids of Yonkers. It's going to be a benefit to the adults of Yonkers because it's going to create a vibrant, energizing place in the downtown. It's going to create a venue for people to come down and enjoy themselves where now they can't. This project is unique in every way because it has the Sawmill River running through it, has the Hudson River, train stations, has a baseball field. There'll be billions of dollars of development, and I'm looking forward to it because it is in my hometown of Yonkers. And I've got a chance here to leave something behind. It's going to take another 3 years of hard work and energy to do that, but myself and my partners, I think, are really enthusiastic about rolling our sleeves up and getting this done.
And we're back here in the Queens Grapevine as we came out on the road, and we're here spending some time in Yonkers, New York. and talking to the president of the Chamber of Commerce, who has been kind enough to grant us the interview to talk about the growth of Yonkers, to talk about the population of Yonkers, to talk about the business district of Yonkers, to talk about all those nice and beautiful things that has taken place. Like any other city, Yonkers went through a little bit of changes and a new renaissance where a lot of businesses are coming into the area, and you know, housing and stuff like that. And we want to bring this out to you, the audience, who might not be familiar, who might just come into the casino just for gambling. Yonkers is a beautiful place to live, has tremendous, great neighborhood, good business, as the president have told you. So we want to continue talking about all these progress and all these nice things that have taken place in Yonkers, so that you, or viewing audience, would be aware to know all these nice things. Let's talk a little bit about our mayor, how good it is to work with him. We know he comes with a very impressive resume and has done a great job since he came aboard.
And from our perspective, I mean, he's doing a great job. He came into a very difficult financial situation, and he's really done well with it. He's keeping the city moving forward. The business community continues to grow. He is laser focused on things like schools and quality of life. I mean, I don't think you could really ask much more.
Yeah. Like I said, he has a tremendous resume, has done a lot of good things. Are you in a way familiar with some of the youth job program that he has put together?
I am. He's got a youth program for the summer where he's reaching out, asking for businesses to hire youth from Yonkers so they can have summer employment. And he's been doing it since he took office. It's a quality program.
What type of receiving has it been in terms for the youth? Are they extremely happy, having the opportunity to have some jobs?
Well,
and stuff like
you know,
that?
they're going to place several hundred kids that otherwise would not have jobs, and they're going to get these kids jobs, and that's a positive thing. It's a positive thing.
The fact that you've been the president of the chamber for the last 15, 16 years, you have seen the changes that have taken place in Yonkers. We know for a fact that Yonkers, like any other town, like any other city, went through a tough period. How difficult it was to bring for Yonkers to come back into what we would call an acceptable community where people want to move back in here? How difficult was that?
Well, you're going back probably 25 or 30 years when
Yes.
we had our difficulties. Frankly, you'd have to understand, I hate to admit it, but I'm old enough to have been around through that situation. There were many, many people in Yonkers that were looking to move forward at the time. We got by that situation. We have location, location, location. We have a great housing stock. Our school system has been continually improving for the last 20 years. I mean, we have, frankly, Yonkers High School is one of the best high schools in the country, rated by more than one of these different surveys. So, I mean, we have a lot going for us, and we have a diverse community that works together. There are provincial interests, as there are anywhere, but our community has learned to work together toward a lot of different things that are positive for the residents of the city.
And that's good to know, and that's why we want to highlight those type of things, because we know for a fact that 25 years ago was yesterday's news, but we want the viewing audience to know all these nice things that have taken place. Let's talk a little bit about Rich Hill. We know for a fact that it's up and running. We know there's a lot of businesses up in Rich Hill. Can you share with our community how long it took to build it, and more importantly, what are some of the achievements that Rich Hills have done, and what does it mean for Yonkers?
Well, Rich Hill kind of followed Stu Leonard's Home Depot and Costco. If you go back 20 years, none of those businesses were there. Now we have two tremendous shopping centers, one next to the other. Ridge Hill probably began somewhere in the early aughts, 2002, 3, 4. There was a planning process that it took time to get through, but once that was settled, it was built very, very quickly, and it's filled up with very quality tenants, and it's a great place to go. It's another great place to go. I mean, we mentioned Ridge Hill and Stu Leonard's, Home Depot, Costco, and we also have to point out that Cross County is the first been there since 1954.
Been there.
Has recently undergone a $250,000 renovation. Great place to shop, new stores, new restaurants. It really is tremendous, and the crowds tell the tale.
One of the key components, and we'll come back to Rich Hill, when he talks about Cross County, it's one of the first shopping areas that I have visited when I came up through the Bronx and stuff like that. And Cross County continued to be what it is, a tremendous shopping center, which one of the biggest stores out there happened to be Macy's, and there's a lot of other small business and large business there. They went through a certain amount of remodeling, and very catchy. They have theaters there, and again, they've been in Yonkers for a long time, and they have done a tremendous job in terms of creating jobs for youngsters and from people, and a lot of people from the Bronx work there, and of course a lot of people also from Yonkers work there. Has it withstood the challenge of Rich Hill?
Yeah, it's growing. There are right now a couple of restaurants that are on the books. One of them is being built. There's a hotel underway.
Wow.
So, I mean, it continues to grow. I mean, the more folks that come to Yonkers to leave a few dollars, the better for the Yonkers business community.
Sure.
Benefits both. They're only about 2 miles apart.
Interesting. One of the things that we read when Rich Hill was being built, that there was going to be a certain amount of housing up there. I've only been there maybe about 3 or 4 times, so I can't say. Are there any type of apartment buildings? Or
there is
housing?
one building, and the housing has gotten to a slow kind of takeoff. It's a nice apartment building. I think they're about 50% full. But again, it takes time,
Sure.
and we've been in a housing market that's difficult. So they didn't hit a hot market. When they opened, they hit a market that was kind of in the doldrums.
Right.
So we'll see. I mean, they've done a magnificent job. I've toured the apartments there. There's a health club, a swimming pool. It really is a nice place to be, but we'll see how it develops going forward.
Time will tell.
Yeah, time will tell.
Would you consider housing up there upscale or middle class?
It's upscale.
Upscale.
It's more
Okay.
upscale.
Okay, and rightfully so. It's a new development, and it's a gorgeous, beautiful area. And you know, as you an audience who can see, while we're talking about Rich Hill, just exactly what it looked like, the stores, the housing, and things like that. We were talking a little bit about the economy. Where do you see the economy for the Yonkers area in the next 5 years? We know it's good right now. Do you see it in the next 5 years?
I don't know if I'd consider it good. I know it's stable, and we seem to be expanding. I think we'll continue that, but I think we're relying on the nation as a whole as far as the economy goes. I mean, we are very retail-based in terms of our sales tax numbers and things, and that has been strong for a couple of years, and we hope that continues.
You think there's any big challenges ahead for the economy in our area here?
Well, I think we have big challenges in that we're in a high taxed area and high cost of living area, and a high our power costs are extremely high. So we have things that we have to overcome. However, we are a very highly educated area also. County executive has put out something talking about the fact that we're the I don't know how he phrases it, but there's the capital. We have so many college graduates. It's a great place Westchester is a great place to open a business because the labor is highly educated. And Yonkers is that. We're a part of Westchester also.
Let's talk a little bit about housing. What is the housing situation in Yonkers right now in terms of pricing, in terms of people coming in, and where is the housing situation going? Do we have enough people staying? Nobody is leaving like they used to many moons ago. And are the prices high, and what is the tax implications?
Prices in Yonkers, I would have to say, are a bargain in that if you look at the surrounding communities for the same type house in the same type neighborhood, you're going to pay substantially more. Whether you look at Riverdale or Woodlawn in the Bronx, or whether you look at Scarsdale, Tuckahoe, Bronxville, Hastings, White Plains, Eastchester, we're lower. and our taxes are a little bit lower.
Okay.
So there's a good bargain for folks. And our schools, again, have been improving. So we are, as folks are moving out, and I don't see a lot of people moving out, I think there's a lot of retirees probably relocating, and they're creating new opportunities. But we don't have a tremendous glut of housing waiting on the market. So I think it's fairly competitive, reasonably priced, and as they become available, the houses move fairly quickly.
So we don't have a large turnover. What we have more of anything is the situation with people who have raised their kids that lived here for 20, 25 years, and now their kids are professional, they have moved on with their life, and some of these folks might sell their house, and it's a good opportunity for you to come in at that moment and take advantage of the situation.
Right, right. And folks are moving from all over the metropolitan area into Yonkers because we're convenient. We're convenient to Midtown. We're convenient to Westchester, where there's an employment base. White Plains, there's an employment base. Yonkers itself has a substantial amount of employment. And it's easy to get to there from here.
Let's talk a little bit about transportation. How are we with transportation? Like I said, Yonkers is probably the largest city in Westchester area. How are we with transportation?
Well, in or near Yonkers, there's 9 Metro North stops on both the Hudson line and the Harlem line. The Hudson line's in Yonkers. The Harlem line is on Yonkers border. So we have good transportation there. North-south is very good. We have the 20 bus that goes down to the 4 line. We have the South Broadway line that goes down to the 1 line. There are transportation is very, very well laid out. East-west is a little tougher. East-west, the bus lines are a little tough, and the road structure could be improved. But we have a lot of city and not a lot of roads.
It's good to know. Well, we have approximately maybe about another 40 seconds. Is there a message that you would like to give to our viewing audience as president of the Chamber of Commerce about Yonkers and to our viewing audience?
Well, just like to say that Yonkers is a great place to live, work, to raise your family. I mean, I've done that. I'm a 3rd generation person from Yonkers. My grandfather came from Italy and settled here in Yonkers, and we've been here since. My whole family is here. Great place to live. There are wonderful neighborhoods. We'd encourage everyone to give Yonkers consideration if you're thinking of moving.
With that strong note, I'll add to it saying that Yonkers is really a beautiful city. It's a nice place to live. Not only to live, to shop. There are great stores out here, good malls, and more importantly, good people. In behalf of the family of the Grapevine, I want to take this opportunity to tell Mr. Case, thanks so much for giving us the opportunity to sit with him and talk about all these nice things that are taking place in Yonkers. And again, this is Wallingford Lee saying good night for the Queen's Grapevine, and thank you for watching our program. See you next week at the same place, at the same time. Good night.